What on earth came up? Oh, hello. It's a bit dark, isn't it? Let's put the light on. It will go a bit bright at first. Ah, radiation. That's better. That's better, guys. Hi. Well, I don't know what came up on my screen. Sorry if I was doing this, but some message I'd not put on before said something about me making you all feel safe. So, do you feel safe? Are you safe? I hope you're safe. So, hi. Who we got? Oh, me. I was in at the wrong person. And TJ Devon and Julie Cal. And be back in a bit. So you might be there. Connie and Jennifer. So hello, and I hope Julie's back. Got a nice cup of tea, which was going a bit cold while I was... Oh, that's nice and warm, though, on my hands. It is really cold. So I decided, in my wisdom, to sit here in a jumper. I went and changed, and I had this big chunky jumper on, and as I sat here getting hotter and hotter, I thought, no, you're just going to have to go and change again. And so I brought a cardigan in just in case I get cold. I've got the cardigan. So if you can see this light coming in from the side, it's because I've had to leave my computer on because I'm charging up my mouse with the computer lead that goes to the keyboard. So I can't turn it off, otherwise I don't think it would charge it. So, oh, it's so nice and warm on my hands. I've been crocheting as well, so that just gives me really cold hands. I get quite poor circulation when I crochet. So yeah, that's another reason that I have cold hands. I've always had the same cold hands if I crochet or if I type or anything where I have my bad circulation, I guess. But cheers, guys. Quick slap. Oh, I did wonder if anyone was going to be around because it is a bit early. But I know a lot of people like to catch a replay anyway, but I thought if I got on now, it would give me time to cook dinner later because I'm cooking a Slimming World roast for later on. Well, you know, it's nice to get something warm as well, I think. It's just so cold. So yeah, I hope people can join me today. I know there's a few of you in, but I'm a bit early. A little bit. Julie's back. I can see her on the screen. Can't read it though. Surprised to see me awake. In bed for 5 p.m. today. I hope not. No. I went to bed at 9 o'clock last night. And that was an hour later than I was going to go. But I thought, I can't go to bed at 8. This is ridiculous. But I was so tired. So I put on the TV and I tried to stay awake. I was watching Rabbit Hole and I couldn't do it. So I went to bed and got up for 5 minutes to make my breakfast because I do overnight oats for the morning. And I thought, I bet that wakes me up and I can't sleep now. But it didn't. And I can't believe it. Rock and roll lifestyle. That's what I've got, man. Bed by 9. Oh, Julie. Wow, thank you. I will. I'll email that to you. Bless you. Oh, I keep forgetting to give you the sizes of those windows as well. I did send it on an email. One of my emails does, or was it a video? I'm sure I sent it on an email to you, but if I can remember, I'll do it again just so that I was out there earlier. I could have done it then, but I was filming a couple of shorts because I've got this other gimbal. The one that I do my tutorials with really does go down like that so I can see the desk. And that means it's great for tutorials. It's great for open with me, like looking at magazines and books. Great for that. But it probably wouldn't be okay for shorts because it does landscape. And shorts really are portrait. But I bought this other one for going out and about. And the thing with it is it's really good for portrait, not so good for landscape. You can do it landscape, but it doesn't go flat. So it's no good for tutorials. I was going to sell it ages ago. I thought if I'll sell it at CEX or something. Sex, that's called. But I don't like to call it that. It's a shop, for crying out loud, that does games and not those kind of games. But it, you know, what a stupid name for it, to be honest with you. So just call it CEX in this house. And anyway, unless you're Gary, then you get them all around the wrong way. But there's only 3 letters, but he always manages to mess it up. Bless him. He's at work today. But yeah, anyway, so I'm glad I didn't sell it now, because it's great for doing shorts. And I've never bothered. Never bothered with the shorts. I was going to, and then I don't know. I just didn't. And then because I could upload them to TikTok, I could do all sorts of stuff. And I keep thinking about it. And so when I decided, okay, I'll put the shorts, it's a bit of an what's the word? Experiment. It's an experiment. Now, they're not exactly lucrative over there on Crochet Rocks. My best ever, one that caught a wave and got loads and loads of views at first, earned me a grand total of 4p. Yeah, so they're not like, you know, very lucrative, but that one did get me subscribers. So, you know, in that respect, they're worth it for me. So I'll carry on doing them. And today one will pop up about working through the back bumps. So if you ever see any of my shorts, if you could share them out, I'd appreciate it. Maybe I'll get 5p or 6p. P is a pence, by the way, if you're from the other side of the world. So yeah, it's like, you know, pennies. Yeah, really. So they're not exactly like lucrative, but they get you noticed and spread you around, because you can't really always rely on the good old YouTube algorithm, which has changed somewhat of late. It has indeed, and I will get to the bottom of what's new and exciting about that, and I'll do a little video on it. I will probably do that video on here though, because this is where historically I have done the YouTube help videos and stuff like that, although I haven't done it for a while. But I will do them. Oh, this is getting cold now. It was perfect for my hands. It really was. I did a bit of I kind of today thought, okay, I'll get my blanket out, the one with the squares that I'm making. I'll have a count up, and I thought I'd done all the black ones for my I haven't brought it in, and I looked and I thought that doesn't look like 20, and when I counted, I had 10, so I kind of miscounted there. So I've got to do 10 more black ones. I've done 2 of them, but yeah, I've got to do some more. The black ones are the hardest ones to do as well. I heard that the more likes you have, the further up the algorithm thingy you go. Really? Let's all get liking. Let's like. I don't know. I mean, they did change it. I will kind of figure out what changes there's been, and I will assimilate that information and disseminate that information. I'll put it out there anyway, whatever that means. I'm going to have to slurp my tea now, guys, because, you know, I don't like doing it in front of people, but, you know, got to be done. Getting cold. I brought this in, so if I got thirsty, I've got another drink. I've had enough water today. I feel like I'm sloshing around in there, but yeah, water everywhere, but all of it to drink, obviously. So it's just me and you, Julie. I think everyone else is either watching and lurking. We should give it a what? A go. What, likey? Maybe. I need more exposure. Not like that. But you know what I mean. We all need a bit of exposure. I cut my toenails today. I mean, this is a lovely topic of conversation, but I did them way too short. And I'm dreading putting shoes on. You know, do you ever do that? Oh, I have actually on the right foot. I know my big toe is too short. And it's because my nail bed goes right to the top of my toe. So, you know, when you've got like your nail actually starts down here somewhere, so you've got quite a bit of white showing, but the tip of your nail's there, so you've got all this, not on my toe, tip of toe nail stuck to it. And it really isn't nice. Really. And as soon as it grows a little bit, it feels like it's too long. Really annoying. So I can't, and I can feel it stinging. I've cut it too short. Very annoying. You know, very, 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 very sore. Oh, well, I've always got something. I always hurt myself in some way, whatever it is. Today, I filmed another little short, and it's of some kind of things I can do with my fingers. It sounds bad. It sounds bad, but it's not. And I was going to do it as my intro on my channels. I won't show you because it's a short, and you won't watch the short. But as soon as I did, I noticed that when I was out in the yarn van, I was moving the boxes around, I scraped all the skin off my hand. I thought, typical. This is the hand that stars, and it's wounded. Typical of me. But I was having a good shift round, and I bought a couple of tins of biscuits the other day. Well, not the other day, before. And they had shortcakes in them, really nice. We ate them before the diet started. And they were commemorative tins for the coronation. So now they've got my biscuits in that I send to people when they order. Because I have, for those of you who don't know, because you're RocksSteady people, I have a shop called Hobby Rocks, and it's hobbyrocks.co.uk. And there's a link to the shop underneath and a voucher code for the shipping at the moment. So anyway, I always send some goodies with my orders of yarn or puzzles or whatever it is people buy. And I've made stitch markers, they can go in. And I usually put bits and pieces of yarn. And Annika, if you're watching, I've sent that ball of yarn I said I was going to give you when I went to Hobbycraft. So that's in yours. But, you know, I always put a few extra bits in if I can, got it in the shipping and there's enough kind of, you know. So, yeah. And I've got little sweeties as well that I put in, and tea goes in, everything goes in there. And I've actually forgot what I was talking about. Oh, yeah, so I was out there tidying and putting yarn away, really, because I've got new orders and everything else. And I actually took them all out there and put them all away and tidied it all up. But it was a bit cold to stay out there. The sun is shining. It's glorious today, but there's this cold edge to it, you know. I went outside when I first opened the door to go out there, and I thought, oh, it's a lot colder than it looks. And that's really how it got me. It was just like ice. And there was a frost all over the country today, but really, I didn't see a frost this morning here. But it is really cold, even with the sun out now, and you think it'd be lovely and warm. I think spring has forgotten us. Seriously, it looks like it's spring, but it's just like a sunny winter's day out there, really. So consequently, believe it or not, I have slippers and fluffy socks on, and I did have a pullover. That is just so not me. Cannot stand being hot, as you all have known from my years of whinging and getting my fan on and everything else. I hate being hot, but I think I'm yet to feel hot this year. Little snippets of it now and then. Usually, the only time I'm hot is if it's going to rain, you know, and it gets a bit muggy, which is all the time. No, not really. But it isn't nice, and I'm fed up with it. I want some warmer weather. I want to go out there and sit on my egg chair, which I should have covered by now, made a cover for it, but I haven't done that. So I'm not going to be on for a very, very long time today, probably about an hour-ish if I can, because I have a roast dinner to cook. And it's not just a normal one either. It's a Slimming World compatible roast dinner. So, yeah, I kind of, you know, will need to do that. Kerry, hello. Mwah! Don't forget the thummies, guys. Always like reminds me of how bent my thumb is when I do that. It's just like, oh, that doesn't look good, does it? Doesn't look good. Aisha Joe, hello. Caught a line from me. How great. I hope you're all enjoying the day we've been given. Well, I was just saying that it could be warmer. It's really sunny, but it is actually quite cold out there. I've just got to finish my tea, guys. Sorry about this, but I need to finish it. I really don't like slurping it down in front of you all. Kim, hello. Woo woo. Good morning. Is it really still morning? Good morning. Good afternoon. Wherever you are. Just bear with me a sec. So I did bring I brought a glass in. So if I get thirsty I can have some Pokey Polar. That's what Basil Brush used to call it. Boom, boom. You're lurking while you crochet, that's fine. Feel free if you want to have a little chip in with a conversation, that's great. But well, yay, good to see you all. Good to see you all. So yeah, oh, I don't know. I'm just like really I'm turning really whingy, aren't I? It's not been a bad morning. I got up very early because uncharacteristically I went to bed at 9 o'clock last night, which is just so unheard of. I used to burn the midnight oil all the time. In fact, I used to burn the 3 o'clock in the morning oil too, quite often. And I can remember all those YouTubers across the pond when I would go in their live streams saying, why are you still awake? Well, it was kind of normal for me to be awake. But right now, I'm lucky to make midnight, which is a good thing. I'm glad, you know, my sleep pattern has changed and I'm more kind of have a normal sleep pattern. But really, 9 o'clock, that is just so not rock and roll, is it? You know, but I was awake long before 6 and I was up and showered and getting my chores done. When I say chores, I don't mean just chores. I mean, you know, all the things that I've got to do and some crochet and have a shower, you know, all the stuff, do some washing and then I could do my videos and I thought, my goodness, it's probably really late now. And I looked, it was still 9. So you really get a lot done when you get up at stupid o'clock. But I'd had well, about 10 hours sleep. It's just crazy. It's just so not like me. Excuse me. So yeah, I did show these on my chat the other day, but my other half brought these things home from work and they're like pouches, if you like. Well, that's not. Hang on. Let me get one that's not as bad as that one's quite grubby looking, although it is just paint. But here they are. This one's nice and clean and they're zippy bags. So, and they're quite long, really. And they've got a really good zip on them. And they've got these loops, which I don't know, what could you do with that, really? Not much, I suppose. Hang them from something. But I was thinking, or Gary said, do you want these? Because you could turn them into like crochet, like covers for them. And you could have like hook bags. But you know, there's a multitude of uses really, because they're nice and big on the inside and they're waterproof, which is great. You know, they've all got these like little sachets, but they're waterproof. So I could make some really nice little cases for things like the little handheld thing that I use when I go out and do my filming. I often use like it's only a small thing, like a selfie stick, but it's not, because selfie stick's kind of telescopic, but it's small. And I could put that in there with the microphone for my out and about videos. So I might do that, you know. I'm going to get into production and make some of these when I get round to it, though. Hello, Donna. Welcome. Don't forget the thumbie. Well, it's good to see you all. Good to see you. I didn't know if you'd all make it because it is a bit early for me, isn't it? Well, although I've been up hours. It's not really early, is it? Probably be in bed by 5, as Julie said. But oh, look, I brought water as well. Very healthy. Put that down there, actually. So yeah, I'm really kind of, these are quite cool, aren't they? And all I've got to do is make a case that can cover this. I could do several different ones. Brilliant. I could even put, because I don't do long knitting needles, but some of them that I use will fit in there. So I could do hooks in one and knitting needles. I could do my out and about selfie stuff. Maybe I could even do some like for some of my stuff like hair stuff. No, maybe not. Don't think it'd fit. But I'll find uses. So what have you all been up to? Now I kind of I've been filming some shorts, yeah, and those lucrative things. Yeah. For those of you who just joined, I've filmed some shorts, and one of them actually it kind of started off. You got like this little slider that shows you your progress, and it went like a normal video, and then it went whang like this because it just kind of went crazy. So I thought, oh, you know, that one would be a good one to see just how much you kind of earn about from shorts. And when I looked, it was 4p. The first day I looked, it was 1p, and then it went up to 4. And one of mine that's been going for quite a long time has made 5p in, well, since it's in, you know, been on there, not recently. But they're, you know, they're just fun to do, I think, and they get you kind of noticed. Claptrap, hi. Hope your Steam, I think my stream, like 2 days ago, my stream is not lagging behind for half an hour like 2 days ago. Oh, oh no. You know, there's a little slider. You can always move it. Underneath the video, there's a slidey slider. Because sometimes the person who's making the video, they get behind the chat. Have you noticed that? And there's a little slider. You can bring yourself back up to date again. But if I touch it, I'll mess this up. So there's no point. But yeah, if you ever see that, there's a little line underneath the video. You just move it up. It's a slider. If you ever get behind, or sometimes if you go out and come back in again, it's all right. Hey, Tammy. Cool. Good morning. And don't forget to funny. Have I missed anyone? Tammy, did I say hello? I can't remember now. Bum bags for boys to wear over the shoulder. All the rage now. Oh, are they? Have to send me a picture, Julie. Send me a picture. I don't think Gary will wear one. You know, I made him a hat once, and it was like not girly colours, but the stitches were. It was Bag of Days hat, right? So I thought, you know. It was too big for my hair. It was way too big for Gary's. But I made this hat. I thought, you know, I made it out of manly yarn, and he just looked at me and went, "It's girly. I can't wear that." I won't tell you what he said because it's not exactly politically correct, but he wouldn't wear it. Just wouldn't. It's not, you know, unless it's just plain, he's not wearing it on his head. That's that. Or anywhere else. He certainly wouldn't use a bum bag for same reasons, you know, not macho enough. Not for Gaza. But that's him all over, really. But yeah, send me a picture and I'll have a little look. You never know, because I'm sure if they're all the rage, Bailey will want one. And I could do him one out the blue. Yeah, we'll have a look at it. Whew, I'm out of breath. I don't know why. I haven't done much today, apart from sit. I haven't done a lot of exerting myself. I think the most energetic thing I did was walk to the yarn van and walk back again. After, I did lug a few boxes. Yeah. My Flutterby. When I sold some of the James C. Brett Flutterby a little while ago, I got the box down and there was stuff in front of it. And so it wasn't an easy put back, you know, it would have been lift it up and go that way. And I just thought, no, I think you'll put your back out if you try that. So today I thought, that's in the way now. And it was ever so light. I really just put it back. But yeah, did a bit of tidying around the yarn van. You have 492 yards, 450 meters of DK yarn. Do you think it's enough for making a tank top? Well, it kind of just depends on the stitch and the size, really. Doesn't it? I guess. I really think it does. Depends if it's a really tight stitch, then maybe not. But if it's quite a, I don't know. I don't know is the answer. I really not. I'm going to start making some wearables, and I keep saying it. I didn't want to make wearables this size. That's the thing. You know, I want to make some smaller ones, but I'm going to. I'm going to make some. What I think I might do is I might make some for the family, But the other the other side of it is make this to slim into. So I've made this, and now my diet is going to work. And it'd be like the day that I show you I can wear it would be a good one. So I think I might do that. I might make myself a top that is this whatever big, and say I'm going to show you me in this one day, and then it would be look, I've done it. That'd be a cool one, wouldn't it? Sadly, my last making Gary's blanket live stream got deleted, and because it never got uploaded. That was the thing. And I've had 4 different YouTube wizards look into it, and they've all can't find it. It's just gone. So that's the end of that. I wondered if it was my fault, because I was deleting old live streams, and I unchecked the boxes of all of the Making Gary's blanket ones so that it wouldn't delete those. But maybe it didn't counter for the one that I was doing at the time, and it might have just deleted it. It might have been my fault. I don't know, but I feel like it couldn't have been, because it wasn't really there to delete. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, it can't be retrieved, unfortunately. So that one's gone. The only other way that I could do that is to put that other border around it that I was thinking of doing, and doing another one that is the last Making Gary's blanket live stream. But it means I've got to do an extra bit of border, which I didn't want to. You was thinking of Holy Stitch. I think Holy might be okay. You made your husband an orange hat to wear under his hard hat at work. He never wore it, but he kept it in his truck for 2 years. He didn't like it, but he wouldn't tell you. Gary would just tell you. He would. He'd just say, I'm not wearing that. It's a bit girly, isn't it? But, you know, what's wrong with orange? He's got a bright yellow hard hat, hasn't it? Oh, mind you, it might be a black one. Depends what your job is, doesn't it? Aren't they kind of colour-coded to the hierarchy of wherever you work? Some people have white ones, some people have yellow ones. You could have made him a yellow one. It wouldn't, if his hard hat was yellow, I wouldn't notice. But yeah, the one I made was like really nice, but all different kind of browns and khaki. It wasn't really a girly colour at all. In fact, I made a scarf with it on my channel, and I can't remember what I called it. Rocky Road or something, because it was a bumpy stitch, and that is exactly the same yarn. If you ever see that scarf tutorial, that was the yarn. It wasn't exactly in any way a girly yarn, you know, but it just, I think it's because it had like crisscross stitches, and I can't remember which one of Bag of Day's hats it was, but I don't make many other people's things. But it was just that when I saw that one, it kind of thought, oh, let's have a go. See if Gary will wear it. But no. A neon yellow one. Yeah, you could do, couldn't you? Be cool. I just put it down and another one come. Oh no, I didn't. I thought I saw another movement, but I didn't. So yeah, I've got to make a roast dinner. And yesterday I made chicken Alfredo. It was really, really nice. But I thought the chicken was cooked. And I said to Gary, you can help me if you like. You can break that chicken up. So got it out the fridge, and he went, it's raw. Is it? Oh, okay. Give it here. I'll have that cooked in 20 minutes. So I put it in the pressure cooker, because he won't touch that, you know. So I put it in, and I put it all on, and it was all working away. And Gary moved it closer to the window, and it started getting angry. Right? So, what do you move it for? Don't move it. Look what you've done now. It's angry and everything. So I looked, and I hadn't put the valve on closed. So it was steaming out. So I turned it off, let the steam die down, switched the valve over to lock, put it back on again for whatever minutes, because I thought, okay, I've probably steamed it now for at least 10 minutes. So let's just put it on for about another 10 minutes or so. And it was perfectly cooked. It was really, really nice. So I ripped all that apart, you know, took all the gooey skin off, and took it apart. And I had some little chicken breast bits left over from when I made the chicken arrabbiata the other day. I put those in as well, because they were raw, and I cooked those up. And so then it was absolutely lovely. It really was. So I've been doing all the cooking since we've started the Slimming World diet, and I've got to do roast, and I don't know what to do with my beef. I think, do I want to put that in the Ninja, or do I want to cook it in the oven and know it's going to be gorgeous? Just don't know. You're still here, just quiet for a change. Don't be quiet. Why are you quiet? Tell Auntie Tracy all about it. What's the matter? I'm only ever quiet when I've got something bugging me or a bug up my butt, you know. And if I'm quiet, oh, it's hard to make videos when I'm in that mood, you know, when you've got nothing to say. Oh, that is a really horrible time, isn't it? It's just like, you know, you feel like you're a blank. I do that sometimes. That does happen sometimes, although obviously not today because I'm just a chatterbox, but I hate it when I'm like that. Made Kevin chicken Alfredo on Sunday. He loved it. So, because I'm doing Slimming World, chicken Alfredo, I have to make it low fat. And the only problem I've got to make it low, because if I could just have dairy, it would be really low sin. But because I can't eat dairy, the cream cheese, I can't, well, I might be able to find it if I went to a bigger store. But our local Tesco and Morrison's, any of them, they only do plant-based Philadelphia and Via Life and another cream cheese, probably their own, which is plant-based. And all of them, because I've got my little app, and you can look at the barcode of anything and it will tell you what it's per portion, how many sins. So all of the others were 3 sins a portion, but Philadelphia plant-based was 2.5 sins a portion. And I already had 1 pack of that in the fridge. So I thought I'll get that, and that'll be the lowest one I can make it out of now. But if I could just find one that was ultra low fat one, oh, then I could make so much more Alfredo. But I feel like I had a bit too many sins, although I probably didn't, just more than I would have liked. You shouldn't have dairy either, but some days, some things are worth suffering for. I know I do that too. Do you know, I might do that though. I might buy the ultra low fat cheese just to make Alfredos because it's beautiful. And I don't know if I have ultra low, if it would take out those parts that I'm allergic to, or if it would just accentuate them. Do you know what I mean? Will there be more of the things in it that make me ill, or will it be less? Because I know the lower lactose the cheese, the less likely you are to be sick from it. I don't mean bleh, sick. I mean, you know, tummy achy sick. So, yeah, I don't know. I know Edam, being a very low lactose cheese, I sometimes eat a bit of Edam. Unless I'm eating nothing else that's dairy, I'm not going to know how it affects me. But something I'm eating is affecting me allergy-wise, and I have no idea what it is because, believe it or not, I'm doing this diet and I'm not eating any gluten and I'm not eating any dairy. So there's something else. Can you believe it? I'm going to be allergic to everything at this rate. I don't even know if I am allergic to gluten. But the doctors ages ago, when I had the colonoscopy, said avoid all gluten. You're not celiac. You've got non-celiac gluten sensitivity, but it might not have been. It might have been dairy, you know, they might have missed it completely. But at the end of the day, I don't know, because everything that you buy that's manufactured has, if it's kind of got gluten in it, it's got milk in it as well. But if I buy things that are dairy-free that have got gluten in, that's the only other way I'm going to tell, isn't it? Such a minefield, really. But yeah, there are some things, like when I'm not dieting, and I just think, oh, to heck with it, you know, I'm going to eat the donut. I want the donut, so I'm going to have it. And, you know, there are some things that are just like, nah. Used to be ice cream. I used to like Ben and Jerry's core sundaes. Every now and then it would be just, oh, I'm going to suffer. I don't care. I just want that. But it isn't good. It really isn't good. You hate vegan cheese except the cream cheese one. I know. Cream cheese is actually quite good. All of the, and I've had some that have got herb and garlic in, you know, that are very much like Borsin and that sort of thing. And they taste really good. I'm quite surprised about them. But vegan cheese, you know, plant-based cheese sucks. I can't handle it. There is one that's like an apple wood, and it kind of is okay, but it doesn't melt right, you know. And yeah, cheese, vegan cheese is disgusting. It gives you gas. um, well, funny you should say that. Alfredo gave me a little gas, so maybe it was the cheese. I don't know. But you know, so much in life does anyway, doesn't it? It's just one of those things. It's a thing that you can't be off. You can't help it. I was going to make a sound like it then, but I decided against it. It'll just be good. Oh, it's funny though, on live streams, it doesn't matter who you are. Now, I went into somebody's live stream, was it last night? Night before? I can't think it was last night, I was asleep. But I popped in, and doesn't matter what live stream you're on, always ends up talking about food. Why? Why is that? Why do we always talk about food? Well, I'll tell you what though, it's diets, I think, that does it. And no, it's not really, because if you're not on a diet, you still talk about food. But I have to say, I'm really hungry on this diet. I'm not enjoying it. That's fizzy. I'm enjoying the food, but it doesn't keep me satisfied long enough. He's wickedly lactose intolerant and refuses low fat, lactose free foods. And he eats ice cream every day. Oh my goodness. Well, I can't suffer the stomach cramping. That's the thing. I mean, I find this is how it affects me. I'll have something and I'll be a little bit mildly achy. And then after about a couple of days of eating bad stuff, I'm all right. It sort of it becomes the norm, and I'm not so bad. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, you've gone too far. And I hate it, and it's really, really awful. And I think, why do I do this to myself? I'm never going to do this again. I've got to remember this feeling. I've got to remember how this hurts, and I've got to remember never to do it again. And then the whole thing just goes and starts all over again. But I'm really trying. I'm really trying not to. He pays the price. No, I know what you're saying, but I've got. You see now, both my kids, when they were little. Oh, excuse me, I've got itchy nose. Both my kids, when they were little, had different kind of parts of the same coin. So, Paul developed asthma, and he also had milk intolerance. He had to have soya milk as a baby. And Michael, he had a little bit of asthma with eczema. So they both, because all those things are linked. So they both kind of grew out of it and they were fine for years and years. I grew into mine because I had it as a child. I used to do, if I did any kind of exertion at school, I would cough and cough and cough. And it was never diagnosed, but I had asthma. So later on in life, I kind of sussed out that's what it was. But the kids both had it and grew out of their asthma. But it's reared its ugly head in both of them. Mike has had, because they have like protein shakes and stuff like that. Mike has always tried to go for isolate and things like that. Paul refuses. So consequently, Paul has all the gut problems, and Mike also has them. But it's like they're kind of they're in denial. That's the word. It's like, no, I'm just going to do what I want. And you know, it isn't. I think I'm fidgeting. Sorry, I can't get. I don't know where to put my foot. There we go. I've got a little footstool. So yeah, I think it's a case of, you know, men are just typically, I'm not going to give in to this. I'm going to do what I like, but you know, suffer the consequences. But I think when they become too bad, you've got to do something. You've got to just try to, you know, not do that. So when you go back to Cambodia soon, is that because you want to go back? Or is it because you're on a visa and it says you've got to go back? And when you go back, will you miss us? You won't miss this cold, that's for sure. But yeah, I kind of, because I know you're saying you're going back soon, but you know, I kind of like, I just kind of want to hang on to you. You know, I know you'll have YouTube will still be there, and you still see us, but you know what I mean. If you liked living in the UK, it's a double-edged sword. Isn't it? I like it, but it's cold, and your summer sucks, man. Although the last few have not. The last 3 have been okay, kinda. So I think I showed it actually on my chat video over on Crochet Rocks that we have made the national newspapers now with our road and our cliff. And I think it was the people who lived down the end kind of did it to counteract the TV program that the people across the road did. So yeah, we're kind of getting famous for it now. Famous for our cliff. Oh, you haven't answered me yet. Oh, no, I'm going to get pins and needles. That's not going to happen, is it? I've got a little heater there. When it was cold, really cold, I used to put the heater on, but I refuse now. I've actually refused to put the heater on anymore. And so Gary will message me, how are you? I'm like, freezing. Put the heating on. Like, no. No, I'm just wearing fluffy socks, fluffy slippers, my big furry snuggie, and I'm fine. So no, he came home from work, right? And he put the heating on. I went, "You've put the heating on." And he went, "Yeah, I don't see why we should be cold." And I said, "But I've been freezing all day so that you won't have to pay the electric bill." And you come home and he went, "All right, I'll turn it off." Just have a blanket, you know. It's not really cold. I've got a t-shirt on, for crying out loud. It's not really cold. It's just that my legs feel it and my ankles and my feet. I don't know, maybe there's a draft along the floor. I don't know. Oh, I know there definitely is in here. Can't wait for that to be sorted out either. But I don't think it's going to be an easy job. It's all kind of underneath this desk. And it's not that. So I could put a curtain, couldn't I? Sort of draft excluder. Wow, that's a big one. As the actress said to the bishop, you shut the heat off first week of April because it's ridiculous paying 600 or 700 a month for heating oil. Still get nights in the 30s, but it will warm up soon enough, I guess. Well, I don't know how cold that is anymore. I think we were messed up as kids because I come from the generation of imperial, you know, feet and inches, gallons and pints, you know, all that. It's not so much the money. The money changed and I was young, so you know, I hadn't really got to grips with 120 pennies make a pound and what a farthing is, and I know farthings were gone, but what a shilling. I know what a shilling was and all that sort of thing because I had pocket money in my little bit when I went to the shop, but it didn't bother me because when they changed money, it was easier to understand anyway. And plus, I hadn't had much of it in my life. You know, I was too young to have been given a great deal of money. And so I did get a fistful of coin now and then, go to the shop, buy sweets. That's as much as the money that I dealt with at that age. So, or on the way to school, go and buy a sweetie or a bag of sweets. So that was as much of, you know, I wasn't really into money. So the money side of it was fine. But the imperial everything else, you know, miles, not kilometres, it all sucks, basically. So we went from Fahrenheit to centigrade. we went from buying things in pounds and ounces and weighing ourselves in stone and pounds. we're supposed to go over to like kilograms and you know, mils and stuff instead. Anyway, consequently, I'm neither half nor Martha when it comes to that. And I just get my scales out and I think half the time I'm doing it in grams and the other half the time I'm doing it in ounces. And I just don't know what, you know, which way is up when it comes to Fahrenheit and Celsius anymore. I just know that if it's, when you're dealing with centigrade, Celsius, whatever you want to call it, if it's 0, it's cold, it's freezing. And if it's about 20 odd up, it isn't so bad. And if it's 30 or 40, it's blooming hot. So that's kind of where I'm at. When it comes to Fahrenheit now, I know that if it was 60 plus, I'm okay. But the rest of it, I don't know. Don't know anymore. It's just assigned to the memory banks. 2 degrees. Oh, that is cold then. That is cold. Okay, Kerry, thanks for coming. Mwah. See you soon. Hang on. You have a flat, a rental one, and it's pretty much guaranteed job in there. I think you're not answering me there. I think it's someone else that you're answering. Will you still be able to get yarn deliveries? That's the thing. The sides of your blanket are uneven, but a few rows in already. Maybe a border. We're leaving it out at the end, do you think? How do you mean that the sides are uneven? Well, they're not kind of going in or out, are they? Are you kind of keeping your stitch count the same? That's the thing. Sometimes it's hard to judge which is your end stitch, and it can actually add some or lose some. So try for a few rows to count the stitch and make sure it's the same. But yeah, border will sort it out. Sometimes when I'm doing a granny square blanket or a square blanket of any kind, you get this. So I will kind of do my border and I'll say I'll do whatever stitch if I'm doing a UK double, which is a single in the US. Then in that dip, I'll do a half treble, a half double. So it kind of keeps it the same and it evens it out eventually. So yeah, that's the only thing I can suggest. You're looking forward to going to Cambodia, but your friend is not so keen on you leaving. You have to watch lives on replay because of the time difference. That is very true. Yeah, you could. Hey, Linda! Woo woo! You could have used stitch markers. That would have been a good one. Probably better than. It's probably better than having to count. But I was looking at someone on Facebook the other day that said, I can't crochet and count. I thought, I can't stop counting. You know, that's the annoying thing. You know, how can you not count when you can crochet? It's easy, isn't it? Like 1, then obviously it's 2. You know, so I can't do that. I can't count when I'm crocheting. So I can't stop counting even when I don't need to count, you know. I find myself crocheting thinking, why are you counting? Stop. Stop it. You don't need to do it. And the annoying thing is as well, sometimes I start counting in the middle of the row. It doesn't make any sense, you know. It doesn't actually mean anything. But, you know, it's just the life of a crocheter, isn't it? It just... Hi, Rebecca. Welcome. Don't forget thummies, guys. Thank you for coming. I'm doing that thing with my foot again. I'll have to just... What is it with my legs? It's just like, they're not happy. They want to be doing something. Just stop fidgeting, woman. I don't know how long I've been on. I'm only going to be on for about an hour because I've got to cook this roast. And I don't know what to do with my beef. I don't know whether to like trust the Ninja. I suppose there has to be that time. I have done one in the Ninja before and it was nice. But it wasn't pink in the middle, which, you know, I want it to be. The one I did in the oven last was just to die for. And what I want is to be able to put them in the Ninja and have them come out just to die for. But until you practice with it, not going to happen, is it? So yeah, I really do need to get to grips with the Ninja. You find yourself counting and you don't need to either. It's really weird, isn't it? Why do we do that? It's like suddenly in the middle of a row, you suddenly start counting away. And you think, this is now meaningless because it's not the actual stitch count at all, is it? You know, starting in the middle. Not a good outcome from next. No. You got a cold. Oh no. That is awful. I know it's not summer because it's not warm. But colds are horrible at the best of times. But when it's nice and warm and it's not warm, so it really don't count. It's probably all the summer that we're gonna get, mind. But I do feel sorry for you. I hate colds. I hate it when someone gives me a cold. You know, I feel like they're murderers when they try and when they give me anything. It's like, okay, especially my family. I sit there like this half the time, like, go away, don't breathe near me. But I've always been like that, you know. But I'm so much worse now since I've had the surgery. Because I've had those lymph nodes removed, I don't fight infections so well. I don't fight viruses too well. So now it's even worse. If I know someone's ill, it's like, why did you come and see me? Why? You know, I'm kind of, you know, not good. Just can't get warm. I can't get warm and I've not got a cold. I had a pullover. I brought myself a cardigan in just in case I get really cold. Actually, just thinking about it, you know, I said I can't get my legs warm. Well, I can put my little cardie. It's a nice cardie, this. More of like a jacket cardigan. I can put it over my layer. Oh, there you go. That's even nicer now. Probably get hot now, my luck. You're hoarding yarn and shipping it over, not slipping. Otherwise, it's a trip by plane to the UK or Thailand, stroke Vietnam, UK. So can you not get it delivered then? Could hobbyrocks.co.uk not deliver to Cambodia? Do they not accept yarn? Do you not get it? I don't know. I don't know nothing about really Cambodia. Only kind of bits from the past, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, that next was not a good outcome at all. I was absolutely, well, incensed by it, to be honest with you. I didn't row. I was so good. I did not lose my stuff. And I was really polite. But I was very angry about it because, you know, some time ago we had a problem with the chair and they were really good about the chair. Although they weren't the brilliant, they replaced the chairs, but they made me break up a perfectly good chair and then tried to charge me for it. So that wasn't good. All worked out in the end, but I just didn't expect to be left with what they did. And they said it wasn't a manufacturer's fault. Well, in my opinion, it was a design fault and therefore a manufacturing fault. So I just said, well, cancel my my account. I'll never use it again. Cut my card up, and that's the end of that. I won't ever shop with them again. And they've lost quite a lot of custom really, because I was a bit of a Next customer. You know, I used to like to buy Next clothes because of the sizes that they did, and I bought baby clothes, children's clothes. I always went to Next, but not anymore. I will never set foot in Next again. Hey, um, oh no, I wouldn't do that, Tammy. When I was setting up the shipping, I knew for ultra heavy things it wasn't adequate, but I just felt like I can't really put any more postage on that. You know, it's just so unfair because of the amount it costs. So, and I always think that there comes a point when someone's ordered a lot anyway that it's a good profit, so you can lose a bit. And so I felt bad that I couldn't do that anyway. I just could. I mean, in the beginning, when I had lots of people order these gigantic, gigantic orders, and every one of them, I made a loss on because the postage was just so high. So I did change it a little, but I never did change it to its entirety. And I can't, I can't surcharge. It just wouldn't really, I couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that. Anyway, the shipping's proportionate. So if it's smaller, it's a smaller amount. And once people realised that, I stopped getting those gigantic orders because people must have thought, oh, I'm going to make it count like, and just order everything that I want and do this one humongous order. Don't have to do that. You can do them smaller, and it's just proportionate, and it's better for me because I don't have to. The thing with shipping is we get a weight and size limit. Now, if I'm shipping in the UK, I can do a small parcel, a medium parcel, or a large parcel, or a tube. Now, if I'm shipping international, I get medium parcel tube. That's it. And that is all there is, or a small parcel tube. So as long as I can squeeze what I'm doing into this space, then I can do it. So I used to shrink it down to ship it if it was a massive order like that. And there was a few that I had to do that way in the beginning. Now I don't tend to do that so much. I just buy the right size bags and I try and get it in. If I can't, I will split it. So yours went in 3. Do apologise for that, but it went into 3 because the reason was because it was t-shirt yarn, and that just weighs quite a lot. It's not the standard 100-gram ball, 200-gram ball, 250-gram. It's weighty, and there's a tolerance in it as well. It can be either 650 or it could be 750. You just don't know. So it's impossible to judge. But so what I did, I just split them into 3 and did it that way. But don't worry. I'm quite happy. Don't worry, it's fine. Where am I? It's definitely designed for. It is, isn't it? Flimsy material. Shouldn't have used such flim. And next, you wouldn't imagine that would do that. Oh, bless your heart. I know, but I feel bad. I couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that. Yeah, customs and everything else. It is a pain. It's why I don't put any more ice yarn orders in, because I thought about this the other day. Originally, I thought I'll become an ice yarn supplier. So when I first said to them about it, they said, oh, you just order it the same way and then let us know and then we'll adjust it at the point when it comes to paying for it. And I thought, there's too much going to go wrong. Too much going to go wrong there. Plus now I've got to pay customs. And they charge you customs at the time, at the point of sale. So I pay their prices, I pay their shipping, I pay the customs. So then I would get the yarn, and I thought I could then, with the cost and all those other costs, split it per skein, and then put the profit on, and that would be fine. But with that, everybody knows ice yarn, everybody knows their site, and everybody knows how much they charge for it. So then I would feel really bad adding more to that. Do you know what I mean? So if I buy from a wholesaler like Stylecraft, Stylecraft sell it at the price they sell it, and other shops sell it at the price they sell it. But if nobody says, oh, you paid whatever for that, and yet you're charging so and so for it, I feel like that's what people would think if I did ice yarn. And because I knew that my very first ever and only ice yarn purchase did I pay customs? I think I did. I'm not sure now. We were in Europe at the time and I can't remember, but I think I did pay customs on it. I always get hit with customs. It's terrible. But yeah, my very first ever and last ice yarn order, I still have 99% of that yarn. I've never used it. And the reason being, if I use it, it will be gone. And I know I'm not getting it again. So I might as well have not ordered it in the first place. I did toy with the idea of selling some of it that I know I won't use. But it's just how it sits there. And it's quite good quantities that I ordered as well, stupidly. But yeah, I know what you mean. Um, yeah, that's why. No, I think as well, big companies like Hobby, whatever people call them, I don't know, and all of the others that are bigger than they they are splitting their orders because they're quite lucky. Now, I use Royal Mail, and I don't even have enough distribution to warrant having a Royal Mail business account. You know, I'd have to send X amount per month or per week to qualify to have a business account and start getting discounts. I don't get anything. So then, if I wanted to go over to someone like DPD or UPS or any of those people, I could get a business account with those guys if I was, big enough. And then my second parcel to that same person would be either a pound. I think sometimes they're free. It depends on the different places you go. But you only pay for the first one. And subsequently, I think I looked into it before where some of them are a fiver, some of them are a pound, and some of them are free, or some of them are £3, something like that. And I know it's not much. So a lot of these companies split those because they're only paying the full amount on one. So whatever they charge you for postage, they're actually making money on you, making money on your postage because they don't have to, say for argument's sake, you've got their maximum allowable postage, they're splitting it into a smaller bag so it doesn't cost that much. And then the next one and the next one is just a nominal fee. So it is a racket. And, unfortunately, I can't make the most. If I could do that, if I could kind of warrant getting some kind of business um, other than Royal Mail, and I don't know if Royal Mail do it for business because I didn't get that far with them. But if I could get with DPD or UPS or one of those, and I could actually then have that, I could reduce my shipping to a lot. I could reduce it by a lot, but I don't qualify for them because I'm just a small fry person at the minute. If I have, if I get more orders, if I get more likes and shares out there, you never know what happened in the future. Then I can really come down to my lowest costs. Yeah, that is true. The other day when I did my mailing, um, what happened? Oh yeah, they did. Well, I've got this post lady. I've got about 3 men and 1 lady, and she come. I had this collection, but she didn't knock on the door loudly or the window, and so because I got this email and it says we have missed your collection. And I thought, no, I stayed in especially for this. So when I looked, I had a letter through the door. So she had delivered my mail. And so the next day when I thought I've got to do this again. So I went on there and I tried. It was so difficult to go through the whole thing of it said, reschedule, but it's not that easy. And it didn't work for the American ones. So I had to call them twice. And in the end, we got it all done. And it was still that I was the sender and that you guys out there were the recipients. But they actually turned up at Julie's house to collect my parcels. It's amazing. They turned up at the recipient's house to collect the parcels, which she hadn't had delivered yet. It's like that was just crazy. She sent me this thing. I thought, what are they doing? But I thought, are they going to turn up at mine? Well, they did. Thankfully, they did send them all out. But honestly, that was a mission. So when the post lady came the next day, she said, "Oh, I came yesterday, but you weren't in." I went, "I was. Waited in all day for you. Can you make sure you bang loudly on the window? Because I didn't hear your knock." And I said, "This is a small bungalow. It's not like I was far, but I might have been in the loo, or in the bedroom or something. And I didn't hear you." I said, "Just bang loudly on the window." She went, "Oh, I will in future." Honestly, it was a bit annoying. Okay, thank you, Asia Joe. Thanks for coming. Thank you. I'm glad you caught it. I'll do more on here because I need the watch hours. This channel, I've hit the 1,000, but it is very, very, very badly off for watch hours. So I will do quite a few on here. So if you ever see me, come and say hello. I can't use them. They've got such a bad reputation. They used to be no, was it Hermes? They got such bad reputation. They changed their name, hoping it would improve, but hasn't really improved. Not at all. Um, Yay, that would be lovely. Thank you very much, Tammy. So if everybody could do that, I would really appreciate it. And even for Crochet Rocks, because I do need to get more and more subscribers out there. I'm going to be recording a tutorial soon for the blanket. Oh, I'm going to get really hungry now. You know there's a rumble is coming. And I don't know why, because I've eaten quite well today. It's just there's no protein in it and fats that actually stay in your stomach long. That's why. I get so hungry. I really, really hope that sorts itself out soon. So I don't like it. I really don't. I really don't like being hungry. It's not my idea of a good time. And on low carb, I just don't feel like that. But I need to get Gary on this diet, and I need to get him to sort of stick into a diet. And, he always says, I'll do low carb with you. And then he cries off at the last minute and doesn't do it. So, yeah. Oh, I got a text then. I thought I saw something come in. It was actually a notification. It's probably my own video notification. What's the time, by the way? 2:30. Time to go to the dentist. When we was in the dentist last, and we had to make an appointment for Gary to have filling. We had 3. And she said, "Oh, the only appointment I've got is 2:30," and I laughed. And so did she. I said, "We are so childish. Can't help it. Can't help but laugh at that." Can you tell me, somebody, how long I've been on? Because I don't get that little thing that tells me, and I can't remember what time I started off. I just can't. But I really enjoyed my RocksSteady lives. It reminds me of when I first started off on Crochet Rocks, and I used to do my live streams there, and they were like this. They were like little chats. But with the ones over on Crochet Rocks, it's just been I've been making a blanket, haven't I? So I know I can make them chats again. You're still keto, losing weight quickly, thank God. Bought keto chocky bars off Amazon. What were they called? I've brought some before. An hour. Little over an hour. Oh, that's cool. At least I've done my hour. So, yeah, I used to get some really nice ones from, I think, one of the protein companies that I used to have to buy him protein. Like when it was his birthday, I always just say to him, I really need some protein, and buy me a big bag. And they'd be like 40 quid or something, £50. And you can start getting discounts on it. So, I used to have a little look to see what else they sold so I could get as well. And they did used to do some protein ones. They were gorgeous. Like peanut butter one was lovely. Warrior bars. I've not had those ones, I don't think. I don't think I had Warriors. You have to watch the polyols though. That's the only thing. The alcohol sugar, the polyols. They're not good for your diet. But that's the only thing with a lot of those things. But at least every now and then you can have a bar if you want. And you're feeling like you're missing out. But I love low carb. I really do. It's my favourite diet. And I suppose, there's, in some ways, I could try and incorporate some of it into this. I did the other day. I had egg and bacon for breakfast, but it was scrambled egg and bacon. So it didn't have the fat content. And so it didn't keep me as full up for as long. Hi, Pamela. Welcome. Don't forget the thummy. I'm kind of stay on for just a little bit longer, but then I have got to go and start dinner because we've got roasty today, and he doesn't want to eat it as soon as he gets through the door. So I've got a bit of time, a little bit of leeway time, sort of thing. But yeah, keto suits me too. As you can't exercise, no. Well, I mean, I can exercise. I'm allergic to it. I am. Your friend got pea protein powder. He mixes it into vegan burger mix. I had pea protein. I bought when I did, when I had my operation, I couldn't eat very much, not at first. And Gary used to make food for me. I was in a sorry state when I came out of hospital, I tell you. And he did look after me, and he felt bad going to work because I said, "Oh, no, I'll be fine on my own all day." And he went, "But I went, "No, I'll be all right." He'd make my breakfast, and I would nuke it, and because I wasn't allowed to really do much, and I didn't have the energy, but I would shuffle around the house, I'd do tea and things like that, and then not that I really wanted to drink tea, it didn't even that was hard. So then he would come home at dinner time, he'd make my dinner, but I'd eat stuff like, he'd make me oats and then blend it to smooth. It was the only way I could eat it. Couldn't eat very much at all. I can't remember why I was telling you this now. Oh, pea protein. Well, they gave me at the hospital, this nutritionist, bless her heart, tried to give me stuff because they want you to eat really high calories to actually get through the healing. So they gave me these shakes and all this stuff, right? It was horrible, absolutely vile. If you make it, it was so thick. It was worse than trying to drink a McDonald's milkshake. You know, you're not coming out, not coming out. And I couldn't swallow it. It would just like dry and it'd be stuck there. It's like, oh, I can't eat, I can't. So I threw them all away. And so we would blend everything, try and blend it smooth. It was just awful. So yeah, I said, I know what I've got in the cupboard. I've got some pea protein because when I bought Mike's protein the last time, they had this pea protein and it was salted caramel flavour. So I thought, do you know what? I'll have some of that then. So he used to make me shakes with this, like oat milk and the pea protein. We'd whiz them up, and they actually really were quite nice. But I think I gave the last bit of it to Mike so that he could see if he liked it, or Paul. Can't remember now. One of my kids, I gave it to just so that they would, see if they liked the pea protein. Yeah, I used to use that when I first came out of hospital. That was what I. Every now and then I'd I'd have one of those just because I couldn't eat, and it would soups and all sorts. Used to get pea and ham soup from one of the supermarkets, and it was in a carton, like a plastic carton, and I'd dump that into like the blender with bits of cooked chicken and whiz it right up, and then I'd be able to have protein then. But yeah, awful time, disgusting time. The easiest diet you ever did was Jenny Craig, but it was so expensive. This isn't that cheap. Not only do you have to pay for Slimming World, which don't tell them, but Gemma and I are going half each for it, and that makes it cheaper. But it's the food you got to buy. People always say, "Oh, I don't know if you can do low carb. It's so expensive, all that meat." And I think you just eat a little bit more meat than you normally would. So no, it really isn't, because you're not buying the yogurts, you're not buying the bread, you're not buying all those starchy vegetables, you're not buying the things you can't eat. You can't buy peas, you can't buy corn, you can't buy carrots, you can't buy all those stuff. All the stuff that makes your bill more at the supermarket. You can't buy it. So, instead of having like maybe one chicken leg, I'd eat two chicken legs. It's just what you got in the freezer anyway. You just eat a little bit more of it. But you're not eating all those other things. Masses and masses of food that you buy that you can't eat. No pasta, didn't buy any rice. So you save a fortune on low carb. You really do. You save a fortune. But I know what you mean. But the Jenny Craig diet, isn't that the one where they send you the food? Woman that I used to work with did that, I think. And then there's that Jane diet. I've never really looked into that. Why would you do a diet called Jane? It's my middle name, that is. Jane. Jane the diet. Meat is high right now. But then everything's high right now. That's the trouble. They're ripping us off. Right, left and centre. I do not believe that food really needs to cost what it does. I think they're profiteering. I'm sure of it. Because, you know, I went out the other day and food was at a certain level, then suddenly it shot up like ridiculously. And I don't believe that is right. I think they just know that they can do that at the moment, so they are. And what kind of brought it home to me is we've got a farm shop not too far from here, and it's usually full of food. Went in and it was empty. And I looked at the prices and I thought, what? This is ridiculous. I think he had like loads of out of date stuff, must have thrown it out. And then I don't know, it's just ridiculous prices. Unbelievable prices. So you can shop around still too though. You know, there are still deals to be had out there. Like, but no, I don't find when I do low carb, I don't find it expensive at all. I find it completely the opposite. Although meat is not cheap, but like I said, you're not buying the bread, you're not buying the pasta, you're not buying the potatoes, you're not buying the cereals, you're not. It really does drastically cut your shopping bill. And so, what if you eat a little bit more meat? It's not really that high. Um, you don't like cooked peas, but you were surprised how good the pea milk is. I quite liked peas. I do. I really like peas. Gary hates them. And if I make a shepherd's pie, I put them in and he like his face. But he stopped singling them out not to eat them now though. At least he does eat them. You don't know about UK in US roast is $20. No. Um I guess it depends. You know, there's always been certain meats that are expensive, like beef and lamb, have always been the higher cost. Although we produce lamb, shouldn't really be as high as it is, but beef and lamb have always been the expensive meats. Then you've got the chicken and the pork, which are the cheaper meats. But you can really, you know, certain supermarkets, I don't just mean like Aldi and places like that, but you know, now and then you get like really good deals, half price meat. So I tend to put um freeze quite a few joints. Now Gary and I, there's only us two, but we've got two full size freezers and they're full up, you know, because when it's on offer we'll buy it. But and he likes his steak as well, you know, things like that. But you know, I don't find that meat is as expensive as it. I don't think it's that much dearer. I mean, Gemma, she notices things like because she works in Iceland. Um she says, oh, you know, like when you get buy coffee sachets, there used to be 8 in a box, now there's 5. So they still cost the same, but you've got less of them. So people are not necessarily noticing the price rises. Well, you know, when I was a kid, a Mars bar was about that long. Now it's about that long and it costs way more. You know, that's how they kind of, it's like a stealth price rise because they just chop a bit off it. And in the end, you're going to buy a fun size. But, you know, that's how they kind of do it in a lot of things. But prices of regular foods have gone sky high. Anyway, speaking of food, I'm just about to rumble. There it was. It quite loud. I don't know. Did you hear it? It was just about to rumble. So I'm going to get off and start uploading. Start doing my dinner. Uploading my dinner. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? But I'm going to go start cooking and probably pick at some fruit while I'm there so that I don't go over my sins. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks very much for coming and oh, that hurt, that rumble. For coming and being with me. And I hope that I'll see you again on the next one. Bye for now, everyone. Take care.